Hello everyone. This is in continuation another lecture of the subject Special Electrical Machines, and here I am going to cover another topic of stepper motors. If you can recall, we have covered these slides in the previous lecture of the subject. What are these stepper motors? What are their unique features? Their construction, basic operation, types of these stepper motors. Then we started with the variable reluctance stepper motor, and we covered a part of variable reluctance stepper motor in the previous lecture of the subject. So just to recall, just to remind you, the various types of stepper motors are: we do have permanent magnet stepper motor, variable reluctance stepper motor, and hybrid stepper motor. We started with the variable reluctance stepper motor. I have told you earlier that there are two types of variable reluctance stepper motors: single stack variable reluctance stepper motor and multi-stack variable reluctance stepper motor. We started with single stack variable reluctance stepper motor. We discussed the operation of this machine, and now we discussed the operation of single stack variable reluctance stepper motor having 4-phase, 8-pole, 6 rotor teeth, that is 6 rotor teeth, single stack variable reluctance stepper motor, along with its switching circuit for excitation of the various stator phases. After that, I was supposed to discuss the operation of variable reluctance stepper motor under various modes of excitation. So, starting with the various modes of excitation for operation of variable reluctance stepper motor are single phase or full step on mode, 2-phase on mode, half step on mode, and micro step mode. So these are the 4 modes of exciting the stator windings of the variable reluctance stepper motor. What we discussed earlier was actually the full step on mode or the single phase on mode. As the title itself is suggesting, its meaning, single phase on mode, that is, at a time only one phase is energized. So at a time only one phase is carrying current, and the magnetic field is created by that one phase current only. So what we discussed previously as the operation of variable reluctance stepper motor was actually the full step on mode or single phase on mode. Now let us proceed with the 2-phase on mode. So term itself is suggesting its meaning. The 2 phases are energized at a time. So starting with the 2-phase on mode. Considering the stepper motor in its initial mode with switch S1 on, with turning on the switch S1 magnetizes the phase A of the machine. I mean to say energizes the phase A of the machine, and a magnetic field is created by the current flowing in phase A winding. So magnetic field is created and rotor has aligned itself to have the minimum reluctance path in the magnetic circuit of the machine as shown in the figure. So 1 and 4 are in perfect alignment with pole A and A dash of the stator. This can be seen from this particular figure. This is our reference position of the rotor, and we will start operation of the motor from this reference position. Now with switch S1 on, S2 is also switched on. If you want to refer the switching diagram, let me show it to you, which we have already discussed previously. This is the switching diagram. S1 is energizing phase A, S2 is energizing phase B, S3 is energizing phase C, S4 is energizing phase D, right? A common supply is there to energize all the phases of the machine. So let us come back to what we were discussing. When switch S1, with switch S1 on, S2 is also switched on. So we are actually energizing phase A as well as phase B at the same time. Now with this, the rotor tries to move in counterclockwise direction to align itself with phase B magnetic field. But what happens as the phase A is also energized? So at the same time, phase A, as the phase A is still energized, so a force also acts on the rotor to align itself along the magnetic field of phase A. So two phases magnetic field separately are acting on the rotor and developing a force on the rotor to align itself with the respective phase. This causes the rotor to move by 7.5 degree in counterclockwise direction from actually its position, its reference position of rest. What was the reference position of rest? This was the reference position of rest. So with respect to this reference position of rest, the angle by which rotor moves over here is 7.5 degree, and rotor is moving in the counterclockwise direction to take a position of rest as shown in the figure. Remember, this is the movement of the rotor from its position of rest, reference position of rest, right? Further, you will find the step angle to be different. Here actually 7 point. For this particular machine, the step angle is actually 15 degree, as you remember what we discussed in the previous lecture of the subject as well. So, if the rotor is kept at the reference position of rest, the movement of rotor is by 7.5 degree in counterclockwise direction. Now the operation of the machine starts from further sequence of energizing the various stator phases. Here, keep in mind one thing which is very important, that phase A magnetic field is acting on the rotor, phase B magnetic field is acting on the rotor. If phase B would have been acting alone, then rotor would have aligned itself perfectly in alignment with phase B. If phase A would have been acting alone, then rotor would have aligned itself perfectly with the phase A magnetic field. But actually, as both the magnetic fields are acting on the same rotor, so rotor actually takes a position of rest where the force exerted by phase A magnetic field and phase B magnetic field is equal and opposite to one another. Now opening switch S1 and closing switch S3. So when switch S3, S1 and S2 were energized, S1 is opened now, S2 is still energized, and S2 is still closed, and along with S2 we are closing the switch S3, right? With S2 phase B was energized, and with S3 the phase C will get energized. So right now, under this condition, the two phases which are energized and are developing their magnetic field are the phase B and phase C. So again, two forces would be acting on the rotor. Force due to the magnetic poles make the rotor move in counterclockwise direction by 15 degree, where 15 degree is one step angle, right? And take the position of rest as shown in the figure. An intermediate position of rest balancing the force developed by the magnetic field of phase B and the magnetic field created by phase C. the movement of rotor is by one step angle, which is 15 degree. In previous case, as I mentioned you earlier as well, we were considering the position at the start of the operation, we were considering the position of rotor at the reference position of rest, and from that reference position of rest, the rotor movement was by 7.5 degree. Now onwards, you will find the rotor movement to be 15 degrees. So every sequence of switching is actually causing the movement of rotor in counterclockwise direction by one step angle, which is equal to 15 degree. Further, if we open the switch S2, so S2 and S3 were closed earlier. We are opening switch S2. S3 is still closed, and along with S3, we are closing switch S4. So, with opening of switch S2 and closing of switch S4, what happens is phase C will remain energized as earlier and phase D will now get energized. So, creating the magnetic field, creating two magnetic fields again, one created by current flowing in phase C, another one created by current flow in phase D. So, again the rotor aligns itself with an intermediate position such that it is balancing the force created by phase C magnetic field and phase D magnetic field. So, rotor further moves by an angle of 15 degree, where 15 degree is the step angle of the machine. You can very well see the rotation of the rotor and the intermediate position occupied by the rotor, assumed by the rotor under this condition, and so on. After this, what would be done would be S3 would now be closed, S4 was energized, S3 would be opened, S4 will be kept in on position or closed position, and along with that S1 is also closed, right? So, rotor will again assume an intermediate position at a place such that the forces exerted on the rotor by phase D magnetic field and by phase A magnetic field are equal and opposite and balancing each other. The truth table for two-phase on mode can be shown like this. So, initially, for 0 degree reference position, this is the reference position, switch S1 was only closed, rotor assumed its position of rest, aligning itself perfectly with phase A magnetic field. This is assumed to be the reference position of rest for the rotor. Now, the operation of the machine starts with the first sequence, and the first sequence is turning on S1 as well as S2 together, and we will get a rotation of the rotor by 7.5 degree from the position of rest, reference position of rest. A further change in the switching sequence will give you the rotor rotation by 15 degree. So, with respect to the 0 position angle, which is aligned with the phase A, magnetic field reference position, with respect to this, the angle at which rotor assumes the stable position is 22.5 degree, or a movement by 15 degree with respect to the previous position. The further switching sequence change will cause the rotor to assume a position at 37.5 degree, moving by an angle of 15 degree from the previous position. Likewise, under next switching sequence, when phase A and phase D are energized, the rotor position lies at an angle of 52.5 degree, and again there is a variation in the rotor position by 15 degree from the previous position. A further change in the switching sequence, which is giving phase A, which is energizing phase A and phase B, gives the rotor position as 67.5 degree, which is again 15 degree ahead from its previous position. So in two-phase mode, the step angle is 15 degree only, and the same angle we were obtaining in single phase on method. The stable position corresponding to the switching operation lie in between the stable position corresponding to single phase on operation. Now the question arises, if we are getting the same 15 degree step angle, what is the requirement of operating the machine in two phase on method? So answer is related with the damping of the rotor oscillations. The rotor has a tendency to oscillate around its final position for some time. In one phase on method, these oscillations take larger time to damp out, and for normal operation, for the normal application of stepper motors, no separate damping arrangement is provided, and the damping is provided with the help of the rotation of the rotor between the bearings. So actually bearing friction causes damping of the rotor. In two-phase on method, what can be done is, in two-phase on method, what happens is, suppose this is representing the position of the rotor, and you know well that in its final position of equilibrium, actually two magnetic fields are acting upon the rotor, and they are acting in opposite direction. So this automatically reduces the rotor oscillation. So this is the biggest advantage of this particular excitation scheme of variable reluctance stepper motor with respect to the single step on mode of excitation. Now moving further to half step mode or 2-1-2-1 phase mode of operation. The truth table is given over here. We will come to the truth table after we discuss what actually the meaning of 2-1-2-1 phase mode of operation. So actually in this mode of operation, we can get a step angle value which is half of the full step angle. It combines the one phase and two phase mode of excitation, and the switching sequence would be as follows. First of all, switch S1 alone is turned on. Turning on switch S1 causes excitation of phase A, and it is the same position you just recall. Rotor aligns itself with the magnetic field of phase A. This is our reference position of rest, right? Now after that, two phases are energized, and the two phases which are energized are phase A and phase B. So switch S2 is also turned on along with the switch S1. Further, switch S1 is closed and only switch S2 is kept open. So which phase would be energized? It is phase A only. After that, along with S2, S3 is turned on, thus energizing phase C. After that, S2 is turned off, only S3 remains on. So only phase C is developing the magnetic field. Further, S3 and S4 are turned on, that is phase C as well as phase D, both are energized. Then only S4 is kept on, so phase D alone is developing the magnetic field. Further, along with phase D, phase A is developing the magnetic field, and so on. Now with this sequence, what happens is the movement of the rotor takes place in steps of 7.5, right? So what are the phases which are energized? First phase A, then A along with B, then B alone, then B along with C, then C alone, after that C along with D, then D alone, after that D along with A, then A alone, and so on. So this is said to be the 2-1-2-1 phase mode of operation. Two phases are energized, one phase energized, again two phases are energized, one phase is energized, and so on in the same sequence. The truth table is drawn over here, so you can see very well. S1 is on, the position of rotor is reference position of rest, 0° position angle. S1 and S2 on, the movement is by 7.5 degree. Only S2 on, the movement is again by 7.5 degree and the position angle is 15. After that, S2 and S3, that is phase B and phase C, the position angle is 22.5 and the step angle of movement is half, which is 7.5. Then only phase C, so further 7.5 degree movement, position angle reaching to 30 degree. Then C along with D, further movement by 7.5 degree having the position angle of 37.5. Then we are having only phase D, position angle is 45 degree. Then we would be having one sequence is missing here. Let me write it over here. So we are having 1, 0, 0, 1 and the angle would be between 45 degree and 60 degree, that is 52.5 degree, right? And after that, the position is only switch S1 is on, so only phase A is energized and developing the magnetic field. So this is the truth table for execution of this particular excitation sequence. The next excitation sequence is microstep mode, and as the microstep term itself is suggesting, definitely we are going to obtain the step size of rotor movement which is quite low as compared to the normal operation that we discussed till now. So in microstep mode, the stator windings are energized with precise and proportionally controlled current values, right? Instead of switching between full phases, the motor controller gradually varies the current between the phases, causing the rotor to move in very fine incremental steps. This microstepping allows the motor to achieve angular resolution which is much finer than the motor's natural step angle size. Microstepping is achieved by applying sinusoidal or quasi-sinusoidal currents to the motor windings, and the current profile follows a sine-cosine pattern to generate smooth and the incremental rotor movement. So the resultant magnetic field actually shifts gradually, causing the rotor to move in small fractions of a step. So actually, instead of supplying the full winding current to the phase windings, the current is supplied in fraction of the full winding current capacity. So this way the strength of magnetic field varies, and because of that the position of the resultant magnetic field varies, and because of that the rotor incremental angle is quite low as compared to the step angle of the rotor. So that is all in the single stack variable reluctance stepper motor. In the next lecture of the subject, we will discuss about the multi-stack variable reluctance stepper motor, and in the subsequent lectures, I'll discuss about the permanent magnet and hybrid stepper motors. So that is all for today. Thank you.